I went through a period in my life where I got hammered for, pretty much every weekend for like 12 years, as most people do. And after a lot of self reflection, I've found that there's really only three reasons why people drink alcohol. So my overall opinion with alcohol is that pretty much everyone is better off without it. However, there are a select group of people who really know how to drink alcohol in moderation. Maybe they have a drink at dinner every now and again. Maybe they only really drink maybe once or twice a year. And it could be beneficial as it pertains to like networking and building relationships and stuff like that, if you're the kind of person who really knows how to do this in moderation. But for the majority of people, my opinion on this is that you're better off without it, more than likely. So why do people drink if that's the case, if it isn't actually benefiting them and improving their life? So I'm gonna break this up into two categories. There's the younger crowd, which is like 14 to 27 years old. And I think this crowd drinks for a completely different reason than people that are, say, over 27. So starting with the younger crowd. So the first reason why everyone drinks, I'm just going to get this out of the way because it's the most obvious and boring reason, is that they just like the taste. Now, the second reason, and this is going to be that age group 14 to 27, like I was saying, I think they drink because it's fun and exciting, and every time you go out and drink, you experience new things, or a large majority of the times you go out and drink, you're experiencing new things, right? In high school, you're going to your first house parties and you're drinking in parks and freaking elementary school soccer fields. You're, making out with somebody for the first time, and you're doing all these kinds of things, and you're going through these experiences, right? And then after you get out of high school, this is where you're starting to go to concerts and festivals and staying overnight in hotels with your friends, and you're doing all those kinds of drinking events and, creating new memories and experiencing new things with your friends in that regard. Then obviously in your early 20s, you're going to clubs for the first time, and you're going to pubs, and you're just creating all of these new experiences and new memories. And then in your mid 20s, now you're going on vacations with your friends, and you're getting hammered in other parts of the country and other places around the world. It's all new. It's all exciting. But the third reason why people drink, by age 27, I'd say you've probably experienced the bulk of these things by now. You've experienced the bulk of these experiences, and now every time you go out and drink, it's not necessarily a new experience, it's just a similar experience to something you've already experienced. So the impact of doing these things every weekend, or however often you do them, starts to see diminishing returns. They start to become less and less impactful each time you go and do it. And I think for a lot of people, when it gets to this point, they continue to drink as frequently as they have been drinking, just for the sole reason that they don't know how they'd otherwise spend that time. To them, they're like, if I don't go out and get smashed with my buddies this weekend, what else am I gonna do? I'm gonna be bored and alone and have nothing to do. And if you're like me at that time, you've probably never built relationships that don't involve getting smashed. You go to dinner, you drink. You play around at golf, you drink. You go to the pub, you drink. You do this, you drink. Vacation, drink. Everything is drink. So to simplify why people drink, other than the first two reasons, when you get into the latter half of your life, I believe it's just because they haven't found a strong enough reason not to. Now, some people aren't on the path of betterment. They're okay where they're at. And I'm not talking to that audience in this video, because I personally know that there's a big group of people, probably even watching this video, maybe not big, I don't know how many views this video is gonna get, but there's a group of people out there who don't want to be drinking, but they continue to do it anyways. Like, I personally know people in my life who have quit drinking for 4 to 8 months because they don't like the person they become when they get drunk now. Something changed between, 23 till 27, and now they just don't like who they become when they drink. But they ended up going back to it because they said life just got so boring, I didn't know what else to do. And that's typically what happens. If you don't have some type of mission or conquest or a goal that you're trying to accomplish, life will get boring and you will have nothing to do. And that's likely when you'll go back to your old ways. So as an example of what you could be doing, for me, I'm excited to wake up in the morning because I know the second I wake up, I get to start chasing my goals, chasing my dreams. And I know if I drink, it'll derail a lot of the momentum I've built to accomplishing those goals and that mission. Like for me, I'm playing a real life video game right now. I'm playing World of Warcraft, right? And in 2009, I was one of the best mages in the world, by the way. But life is a lot like World of Warcraft. I'm out here questing right now. I'm leveling up my character. I'm stacking my gold. And I know if I go off in the game and do stupid shit that doesn't actually improve my character, then I won't be able to enjoy the game as much later on in the future. People haven't started the journey of self-development. They don't have that thing to chase after that they want. They don't have that vision in their head for their future life. And that's why they get distracted. I shouldn't say distracted, but that's why they really have nothing else to fill that time with. And that's why they go back to the drinking for the majority of people. But I feel like that's just so empty. You're doing something you know is self-destructive because you haven't found a good enough reason to not destroy yourself. And like, it's super weird, man. When you stop drinking, and from the outside looking in now, the bird's eye view, I guess they call it, you kind of notice that a lot of people are alcoholics. It's just society doesn't see it that way. But like, imagine if you couldn't hang out with your friends or go to dinner or do anything without being violently high, smoking pot. Everyone would call you a pothead. And that goes the same with every other drug or substance. But for some reason, when it comes to alcohol, that's just called normal and nobody thinks anything of it. But with weed or any other substance, people would say you have a problem. Or they would use some type of term to identify you other than just you're living your life. You would be a pothead or you would be something else, right? But we don't call people who need to be drinking with every social thing that they do an alcoholic. But anyways, if you're struggling with this and you're like me and how I was in this phase of life, you need to have a bigger goal for your life and a bigger vision than what is currently happening, right? What is currently happening needs to not be okay, and there has to be a bigger vision looking out into the future. And if you don't have that, then of course you're gonna get bored. And of course you're going to need something to pass the time. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video if you like this video. And if you like this video, you'll definitely like one of these videos. I'm Connor Kelly. Appreciate you guys. Peace.